I was scrolling through my Facebook and I just saw it was there, and it rose a lot of issues that I had myself about not knowing my friends on Facebook, and I just thought, you know what, yeah, I've got free time and you're doing a project that actively interests me, so I thought I would sign up. And to be honest, I want to meet a lot of my friends on Facebook, so I thought this would be a good way to, you know, see if it was a good idea. Well, usually in the evening when I have nothing else to do, I'll be sitting there doing coursework, but now my phone will buzz, oh look, it's Jerry or whoever who wants to talk. So now I can just talk to them whenever, and it's a lot less stressful too. I don't need to put aside time to talk to them. I don't need to stop what I'm doing beforehand. Like, I don't need to stop doing coursework and make time out to talk to people. I can talk to them at the same time and still get stuff done. I was kind of nervous because I was trying to talk to someone I've never spoken to before. I just kept on thinking I'm going to have to talk about university. It's the only thing I can think of I have in common with these people. They could have, for all I know, I could have tried to speak to them, they could ignore me. So I had no idea what was going to happen. And I'm not good at talking to people, usually. So talking to a complete stranger under this kind of conditions was very nerve-wracking. But in the middle, it just kind of flowed a lot more. I forgot that they were a stranger at all. I forgot that I was meant to be sitting there and having a proper conversation. And it just flowed a lot better. I talked to them like I would anyone else. Okay, I've heard that's a good course there. Really engaged, and we had a nice conversation, you know?
If I post something specifically aimed at my friends, my grandparents will be on there like, oh, that sounds really fun, love you, Sean. I'm like, stop it please, you're embarrassing me, I have friends.
Talking face to face, yeah, it's a lot more satisfying as a person to be able to see them, engage with them, see that they're actually listening to me, and yeah, enjoying what I have to say, as opposed to just playing Candy Crush or Temple Run or whatever the kids do nowadays. The second guy, he just talked really easily. He was much more engaged than the other ones. He seemed a lot more confident, and conversation just flowed a lot easier. I seemed to have a lot more in common with him because he had to look up a load of psychology things to do with broadbands and stuff. So we had a lot more in common. Conversation was just easier. I know that we all go to university, so I can start talking like that. So I know there's going to be a response that isn't just dead silence. So I know we can just carry on talking about that, and there's always something more to talk about with university. So. But since we were sat down together and pretty much forced to talk, we got past that stage pretty easy and were able to chat. The last guy, we didn't really connect at all. The conversation with him was a lot more difficult because we didn't have very much in common at all. His degree was very technical, and he didn't have as much freedom with his degree as I did with mine. So, and he didn't really know what he wanted to do afterwards, so I couldn't talk to him much about the future or anything because he just didn't know.
The materials, this is the place where I should, you know, do the project. So it's all on your mind because you've had experience. So it will be less risky.
To be honest, I don't think it's decreasing it at all. Although there are people who do just stay inside and prefer to just talk solely over the internet anymore. Now, there are a lot of people who just use it to improve their relationships. Because if you sit on Facebook now and you scroll down, you'll see a bunch of people sharing articles and stuff, so you'll see what they're deeply interested in, and usually we wouldn't be able to find out this kind of stuff. I have a bunch of people on Facebook who I don't talk to much in person. If I do, it's like, hi, how are you? Oh, fine. How was the weekend? Or I didn't do much. End of conversation. But now I know a whole bunch of things. I know that they like mice because they've liked it on Facebook, and that they have a pet hamster because they've liked it on Facebook. I know a whole bunch of things we have in common now because I've seen it online. And now I have a lot more we can talk about. Last guy, we didn't get past the awkward stage. It was just awkward trying to talk to him all along. So, yeah. People should be more concerned with talking face to face, and talking online should be kind of complementary. so they use it to just help them talk in person. So you learn they like something online, and then you talk about that in person. For example, you learn online, oh, they like archery. You meet up with them in person, hey, do you want to go do some archery? I like archery too. Let's go do some archery together. Communication is much more than just the words you say. It's like the look on your face. It's, for example, if I say, yeah, I like that, I could have said that online exactly the same words, but you wouldn't have seen my amazingly manly frown. So you wouldn't have known at all what I was saying. So communication is a lot more than just the words you're saying, and that's why talking in person will always be completely different to talking online. But talking online is still necessary. I was reading this psychological study the other day. I'm about to go nerdy on you. That studied the difference between people's general life satisfaction if they just stayed at home and never saw anyone, or if it didn't say they spoke online, but it was assumed, or if they'd met people in person. And it showed the people who met in person were less stressed in general. They felt like they could communicate more, and that they were just generally less lonely and felt better about their lives. And that's why I think people who just hide behind keyboards are missing out. They probably just get stressed, sit in their dressing gown all day and type. They don't even need to get dressed. They need to feel like they need to make themselves presentable. That's part of communication to me. Look at me, I'm wearing my shirt today. It's just putting in an effort for other people. It's good. It's training for real life. Well, people have survived a long time just doing face-to-face, and if I'm just sitting there on Facebook waiting for them to come online, I'm going to be you're going to have to scroll through, and they can say anything they want to online. And when you're in person, you know not to say a couple of things. So, for example, there's this guy I know who's had a baby recently, and if it was in person, he'd know not to shove loads of baby pictures into my face. He'd know not to say, oh look, so here's them pulling one face, here's another one, they're not even born yet, and here's a picture of the ultrasound. He would be able to tell by my face that I don't want to see that. But because it's online, he doesn't get any of that nuance. He's basically just talking for his own satisfaction rather than for communication. So I have to sit through that to hear like, yeah, wow, it's really cute. It's got your eyes, even though I know that babies don't get genetic characteristics until they're like 3 years old. So I have to just flatter him because the conversation by that point is entirely for his benefit, and I'm just sitting there, I'm a wall, let's face it, I'm just having to type.